All right, let's have a look at practice quiz number 1 so that we can set ourselves up nicely for real quiz number 1 tomorrow. Question number 1 says, identify each of the following as a vector or a scalar. Who remembers what the difference between a vector and a scalar is? One of them has magnitude, right? One of them has magnitude and direction. Remember which one is which? Remember which one is which? A vector. Yeah, that's right. The scalar has just magnitude, and the vector has magnitude and direction. So looking for these variables to identify them as either having just magnitude or having magnitude and direction. What about displacement? Does it get just magnitude or does it get magnitude and direction? What do you think? Alex, what do you think? Is displacement magnitude? Is it a scalar or is it magnitude and direction? Is it a vector? Yeah, it's a vector. It's a vector. Good. By the way, when I checked your work this morning, you guys probably saw 2 out of 2 pop up on Google Classroom and on PowerSchool this morning. And know that I'm not checking for correct answers. I'm checking that you've done it, right? So just because you get 2 out of 2 doesn't mean it's perfect. It just means that you've done it, which is what I asked you to do. So just pay attention here, even if you did get 2 out of 2. Displacement is a vector. Distance is a scalar. Good. Distance is a scalar. Only magnitude matters for distance. It's the odometer on your car, right? Position is a... Position is it Liam? Liam? It's a vector. Good. Position is a vector. Good. So tomorrow I'm going to ask you a similar question. It's going to be asked a little bit different, but basically you need to know some examples of vectors and examples of scalars. Number 2 says a man walks 100 meters to the north, then turns around and walks 30 meters to the south. Determine the man's distance traveled and the man's displacement. What are we given here? This 100 meters to the north and 100 meters to the, 30 meters to the south. Are we given displacements or are we given positions? Remember, kind of our rule of thumb is ask yourself, does it matter what city this man is in? Does it matter what city this man is in? No, he could do this in Calgary, or he could do this in London, England, right? He could easily walk 100 meters to the north, then 30 meters to the south in any city or any town in the world. So if it doesn't matter where the man is when he does this, that must mean that these are displacements. When we're trying to find a total displacement given displacements, remember what we do? There's 2 ways that we find displacement. We add displacements or subtract positions. We have displacement given to us, so let's add those displacements. Let's do that now. I always like to do displacement first. Doesn't really matter, but I'm the one that's writing on the board, so I'm choosing to do that one first. Displacement 1 plus displacement 2. I'm going to say 100 meters to the north plus negative 30 meters. Why did I do that? Why did I make it negative 30? Good, because it's south. 100 plus negative 30 is 70 meters. Now, that's a positive number. What does that positive mean for us? The fact that I get a positive answer. That's right. Right? We defined north as positive, so a positive answer means to the north. Good. What about the distance traveled? It's almost the same thing. The distance is delta D1 plus delta D2. We're adding these distances together, right? Delta D1 is 100. It's going to be the same answer, isn't it? Is that right? No? I see a couple heads shaking. How come? What's wrong with it? What have I done wrong for this? Yeah? That's right. It is to the south, but I don't care that it's to the south in this question. I don't want to know that it's to the south. When you're driving your car, you don't drive 100 meters to the north, turn around, go 30 meters to the south, and find that your odometer reads 7 meters, right? It reads 100 meters plus 30 meters, 130 meters. Now, there's a positive there as well. What does the positive mean for us in this answer, in question 2A? What does that positive mean? Nothing. Positive means nothing in a scalar. Negative means, well, we won't get a negative with a scalar. It's always going to be positive, so it doesn't have any meaning. Positive for a vector means, well, in this case, north. Negative would mean south, but not for a scalar. Good. Now, both of those questions were fairly straightforward in that we only had 2 displacements given to us, right? We had 100 meters, and then we had 30 meters given to us. We could absolutely draw a map for that question, but I don't know that it's necessary to draw a map when you only have 2 displacements given to you. A question like number 3, look, 2.5 kilometers south of HTA, 4 kilometers south of HTA. We've got all kinds of things going on here, right? There's some real value in drawing the picture and drawing the map for question number 3. It's not mandatory, but I think there's value in it. Question?
Is it 70 meters south?
No, it's for question B, you mean?
Yeah.
No, it's 70 meters to the north, not to the south, because we're taking our initial, our first displacement is positive 100 meters. And then we add our negative 30 meters, or 100 meters to the north, 30 meters to the south. We add it up, gives me positive 70. I mean, logically, let's think about that. If you go 100 meters north, let's go 30 meters south. Where do you end up? North. You walked further north than you did south, so your overall displacement is going to be north. All right, let's draw this picture of number 3 here, okay? This little map. Remember yesterday we said we draw a map like the printer would print the map, right? Without the path. We don't trace that path first. We just draw the map first, right? You go to the store, you buy a map. This is what it's going to look like, and then you trace the path after you draw that. So let's do that first. Let's label HTA. HTA seems to be the reference point, so let's label HTA. It says the dog stadium at the bottom of the hill is 2.5 kilometers south of HTA. So I'm going to say dogs here is 2.5 kilometers south of HTA. I don't care where I'm walking yet. I just care where these things are, right? It's the map. It's not the path that I've taken. It's just the map. McDonald's is 4 kilometers south of HTA. I think that's it, isn't it? Yeah. Oh, 7-Eleven. I need 7-Eleven. Where's 7-Eleven? Oh, 7-Eleven is 1 kilometer south of HTA, right? So 7-Eleven is up here somewhere. Okay, no worries. There's my map. Okay, I went to the store. This is the map I bought. Doesn't show me where I went. Doesn't show the path. It just shows where everything is. Now, let's trace the path, okay? I walked from, where did I go? I walked from I ran, I guess, from 7-Eleven to the dog stadium. No, sorry, 7-Eleven to McDonald's. And then from McDonald's back to the dog stadium. Good? You know, let's do my displacement first. Okay, you notice like I always like to do displacement first. Doesn't have to, but let's get that out of the way, okay? The displacement is actually pretty straightforward in this one. It's final minus initial position. My final position is the dog stadium, which is 2.5 kilometers south of HTA. I'm going to say negative 2.5. And that's my final position. My initial position is 7-Eleven, which is, I said it was pretty straightforward. Well, you got to be careful up here. Negative 2.5, subtract, what's my initial position? 7-Eleven, 1 kilometer? No, not 1 kilometer, what is it? Negative 1 kilometer, so it's 2.5, negative 2.5, subtract negative 1. You got that? Gives me negative 1.5 kilometer. So I ended up 1.5 kilometers south of where I started. The other way you could do that is say, look, 7-Eleven to McDonald's is what, 1 kilometer, 4 kilometers? That's 3 kilometers. Negative 3 plus positive 1.5. Subtract the positions or add the displacements. And we're going to end up with the same answer. I didn't really need the map for B, but I think I do for A. What's the distance traveled? The distance is going to be 3 kilometers plus 1.5 kilometers. If I'm tracking my, what was this, a run? Yeah. If I'm tracking my run, Oh, my distance traveled. I don't want to know how far I ran. That's going to be 4.5 kilometers, the distance traveled. We're not going to pay attention to the direction there. Is that okay, guys? Comfortable with that? I nailed this quiz tomorrow. 100% on this quiz tomorrow. Man, what a way to start. If you get your homework checks done, 2 to 2 on all those, 100%, and get 100% on your quiz, you're setting yourself up nicely for the next little while. Yep.
Where do we get the numbers for displacement from?
Where do we get the numbers for displacement from? Good question. So I started at 7-Eleven and I went to McDonald's, right? How far did I go? Well, 7-Eleven was a kilometer south of HTA, and McDonald's is 4 kilometers south of HTA. So if I went from 1 to 4, my displacement was 3 there to the south. Does that make sense? And then I went from McDonald's, which was 4, to the dog stadium, which was 2.5 kilometers south of HTA. So the difference between that is 1.5 kilometers. My distance or my displacement would be 1.5 there. And then I just add them up to get the total distance traveled. Is that okay? We good there, you guys? All right.